Assalamu alaikum students. The main objectives of today's lecture are theoretical yield, actual yield, percentage yield, and numericals related to the theoretical and actual yield. Now students, before I go to the definitions of theoretical, actual and percentage yield, just take a look of this equation. Here I have N2 reacts with that 3 moles of H2 to produce 2 moles of NH3. This is a balanced chemical equation. According to this equation, I thought that if I take 28 grams of nitrogen and react it with 6 grams of hydrogen, I will get 34 grams of ammonia. This is what I thought about. Right now, I performed an experiment to produce ammonia. What I got, the product formed or the yield I got in the form of ammonia was a little bit less. I got only 25 grams of ammonia instead of 34 grams. Right? So I hope you are getting my point. What is the difference between theoretical yield and what happened actually in the practical yield? Right? Now here we have theoretical yield. What does it mean? Theoretical yields, it is the amount of product which is calculated from the balanced chemical equation, while the actual yield is the amount of product which is obtained when the reaction takes place or experimentally it is calculated. Right, most of the time in the numericals you are told about the actual yield, that this is the amount produced from that of the this amount of the reactants which are taken. Then you have to find out the theoretical yield and then you have to apply it, that how to get the percent yield. Now what is meant by this percent yield? It is the ratio of the actual yield to that of the theoretical yield. Here the two terms are there. Right, now this ratio percent yield is taken out by means of this formula, that is actual yield divided by theoretical yield multiplied by 100. So this one is the equation which will give you that what is the percent yield we obtained that of the substance by means of the experimentation. Here the next one is there, what is the reason that I have less actual yield as compared to that of the theoretical yield? It's a very important question. It is asked for the 3 marks in the question paper. Here the answer is given. There are 3 main steps which are responsible for the lesser quantity of actual yield produced. Now here the first one is that maybe there are side products formed. There are side reactions. Right, not only the synthesis of ammonia is going on, but some other byproducts are also given out, so the quantity is being affected. Now the second one is maybe the reaction is reversible. Right, for example, if I have taken the example of N2 plus H2, this reaction is a reversible reaction. The reversible reaction is mentioned by means of the double-headed, or let's take a look of this one also. Here I have SO2 plus O2 gives formation of SO3, 2 and 2. This is also a reversible reaction. Reversible reaction is mentioned by double-headed arrow, right? So this reaction, when we say a quantity of product is formed, then a reversible reaction occurs. Means reaction is not going to complete. How long we can wait for this? Right, to complete, reaction will not end, because so we will get a less quantity of the product. Right, maybe the substances, they are not properly mixed, so that we are going to get not the reaction is not complete. So when reaction is not complete, not the end is going on for the reaction. Right, particularly in the reversible reaction, product formed will comes in equilibrium with the reactants. All the 3 are present by the end of the reaction. Actually, a reaction is not going to end up. It will be still continuing. Both the regions will be reactants and products, they will be in equilibrium, right? And the third point is maybe there is a mechanical loss due to the processes I have used, that is maybe filtration. Is related to filter the contents, that solid is separated from that of the liquid. Distillation and separating funnel, these are also applied for the as a separation techniques. The two components of the substance are separated. Washing and crystallization, all these processes. Mechanical loss means mishandling of maybe apparatus, some of the quantity left inside that of these what you say, the apparatus which are used for different processes, right? So these are the three main points which are responsible for the lesser actual yield than that of the theoretical yield. In theoretical yield, we consider there is 100% law of conservation of mass is applied, that whatever the quantity we have taken, the whole is converted into the product, while it never happens actually. Now here the differences between theoretical and actual yield are given. Theoretical yield is the maximum amount of product that can be produced from a given amount of reactant. Yes. While actual yield is the amount of product produced when the chemical reaction is carried out in an experiment. It is very important to remember, right? Just theory is here in theoretical yield, and actually practically it is done by means of an experiment, right? Calculated from the theoretical yield is calculated from a balanced chemical equation by means of the stoichiometric ratios, right? While the actual yield is being carried out by means of the calculated amounts of the substance, they are being taken as taken in the equation, but the product form, that can be different, right? So hint is being mentioned away, amount of product from the limiting reactant. Definitely you people, if you remember, the product formed is always being taken out by means of the limiting reactant. Or in case of the actual yield that is given in the problem or taken from the data in a lab, yes, it is being taken out from that of the whatever the numerical you have been given. Here it is mentioned that this amount is being taken and this is the quantity of the product which is actually produced. Now this slide shows you how to calculate percent yield. For this you should know actual yield, and you also should know the theoretical yield, which will be multiplied by 100 to get the percent yield. For this, take a look of this example. Here, two hydrogen gas molecules react with one molecule of oxygen to produce two water molecules. Here, for example, as I told you, the theoretical yield is taken by means of the consideration of the limiting reactant. So think about that oxygen is the in excess, while what hydrogen is the limiting reactant. So the yield produced of this water is 28.3 grams. It will be taken as a theoretical yield. I performed an experiment in lab. The quantity by using the same concentration or same grams of these two substances, I got only 26.3% of the substance. So this will comes out as the actual yield. How to get the percent yield? I have divided 26.3 grams by means of 28.3 grams of water, means actual divided by the theoretical yield multiplied by 100. I will get my answer. Now you can find out what is the answer here, right? Now this one will give you how to calculate percent yield. Now here a sample problem 1.9 of your text is given. In an industry, copper metal was prepared by the following reaction, that zinc metal reacts with copper sulfate, gives zinc sulfate plus copper. Just read it in with the help of the moles. I will say 1 mole of zinc reacts with 1 mole of copper sulfate to produce 1 mole of zinc sulfate and 1 mole of copper metal. Now the object is, just say 1.274 grams of copper sulfate when reacted with excess of zinc metal, a yield of 0.329 grams of copper metal was obtained. What you have to do? Calculate the percentage yield. For percentage yield, I have this formula, right? Actual yield divided by theoretical yield multiplied by 100. What is my actual yield? Actual yield is this one, 0.329 grams, which I obtained from the chemical reaction. That when 1.274 grams of copper sulfate reacted with excess of zinc metal, means zinc metal is in excess while the copper sulfate is the limiting reactant, right? So I have actual yield, but I have to calculate theoretical yield using this quantity of the copper sulfate. Right? Now, what is that actual yield and how to calculate it? The first step is conversion of grams into moles. For this, I require molar mass of copper sulfate. This is how to calculate molar mass of copper sulfate. It comes out as 159.6, 63.5 for copper, 32 for sulfur, and oxygen 16 into 4, it comes out 64. Right? Now, how to get the number of moles? Given mass over molar mass. I applied the formula and I got 7.982 into 10 to the power minus 3 moles. Now, make a mole ratio between copper sulfate and copper. First, from equation, and then multiply it with the moles which are produced by this division, by the calculating the number of moles of copper sulfate from the given quantity. Right, here I have the mole ratio. 1 mole of copper sulfate is producing 1 mole of copper. So 7.982 into 10 to the minus 3 moles will produce how much? 1 upon 1 into 7.982 into 10 to the minus 3. The same number of moles will be obtained, is it? Now this one is the moles. What I have to do? I want to convert it into grams. So what to do? Multiply it with the molar mass of copper, 63.5. So I will get 0.5072 grams. This one. This is my theoretical yield. The actual is given above. That is 0.329. You can see it is less than that of this theoretical yield. Now apply it in the formula, you will get your answer, that is 77.3% only. Another sample problem is given here, that is 1.10 of textbook. Here the reaction is 2 moles of CH4 was reacted with an excess of Cl2. Can you find which one is the limiting reactant? Yes, it is 2 moles of CH4 while Cl2 is in excess. It says 177.0 grams of CCl4 is obtained. CCl4 is carbon tetrachloride. Here take a look of the reaction. It says CH4 reacts with 4Cl2. If I read it, 1 mole of CH4 reacts with 4Cl2 to produce 1 mole of CCl4 and 4 moles of HCl. What I have to do? I have to calculate theoretical yield, I have to calculate actual yield, and I have to find percent yield of the reaction. Right? Now, where is the actual yield given? I think you should know now. Where is the actual yield given? It is given in the, it says in the first one statement, in a reaction, 2 moles of CH4 was reacted with an excess of Cl2. 177.0 gram of CCl4 is the actual yield of CCl4 obtained. Right? What about the theoretical yield? Once again, I have been given the moles of CH4. I don't have to convert it now anymore. Not the grams, but the moles are given. So make a mole ratio. In the equation, there are given 1 CH4 produces 1 CCl4. So what do you think? 2 moles of CH4 are producing 2 moles of CCl4. Is it? Now convert it into grams. So multiply it with the molar mass of the CCl4. How to calculate it and how much it will be? This one is 12 plus 35.5 into 4. You will get 154 grams. Right? How much amount you are getting? 308 grams. You can see actual yield is less than that of the theoretical yield, 308 grams, and the actual one is 177.0 grams. Now, how to find out the percentage yield? Here the formula is mentioned once again. You have both the yields in it now. Actual yield 177.0 grams divided by theoretical yield, that is 308 grams, multiplied by 100. This is your desired percentage which you have got. This is how to find out the theoretical yield and the percentage yield. Done? Now this is the numerical taken from science statement. The overall balance equation for the production of ethanol from sugar is given, that is glucose produces 2 moles of, this one is ethanol, and 2 moles of carbon dioxide. What is the theoretical yield of ethanol available from here? The quantity given is 10 grams of glucose, 10 grams of sugar. If a particular experiment 10 grams of sugar produces 0.664 grams of ethanol. Here this is our actual yield, 0.664 grams from 10 grams of sugar. What is the percentage yield? Percentage yield के लिए what we need, that is actual yield is basically given, but you have to find that is theoretical yield and then percent yield. To calculate theoretical yield, first of all, take a look that you have been given a particular quantity of glucose, so convert it into moles. We have converted it by taking out first the molar mass of glucose. It comes out 180 grams per mole. So divide 10 by 180, you will get there 0.056 moles of glucose. Now relate the moles of glucose with ethanol from the balanced chemical equation. According to this, 1 mole of glucose produces 2 moles of ethanol. Here 2 moles, so 0.056 moles will produce how much? That will comes out 2 upon 1 multiplied by 0.056 moles of C2H5. So the moles comes out as 0.112 moles. But for the theoretical yield, I need to convert it into grams, right? So what I have to do, I have to find out the mass of ethanol, and then I have to multiply it with the moles I have got from the theoretical yield, right? That is 5.125 grams. Now apply the formula, that is percentage yield. Actual yield was 0.664 grams, while the theoretical yield is 5.125 grams multiplied with 100. The answer is 12.89%. Done? Now this is the homework exercise. Do it. You have 2 days to complete it and then send it to me for checking. Okay.